Fort Myers, Florida. It is a little bit before 12 o'clock on Friday. What is today's date? The 18th of December. Give me just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera a little bit and add a few other things. So just come on in and get situated, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Let's see if I need a light there. I don't know if I need light. Okay. Give me just, now I got a gnat flying around my face. Oh, Lord. Give me just a minute. I'm going to add a couple of other things. Okay, go figure. I have a gnat flying around me. Oh, my goodness. All right, let me bring the chat on. Come on, chat. All right, why are you doing that? All right, I think we're good. Let's do that. Okay, let's see if that works. Hello, how are you? It's nice to have warm weather, isn't it? All right, we have got the chat on, and let's see. Oh, I know. I just got done walking the dog, and I was thinking, it's a little warm, but I thought I am not going to complain. You never know, right? Oh my goodness, I got to clean the glue off my glass mat. Weird. I got to start using my rubber mat thing more often. Sorry for the squeaky. I forget to use these things, and I only have like four or five of them. You know, the little rubber Dumafloxy things, those. And I forget to use them. And then I wonder why I have glue all over my desk. I thought everything that comes with this glass mat works really well about taking the glue off. Because before I'd have to use my there's that gnat. I'm trying to kill a gnat that's in here. Driving me crazy. I just got him. I used to using the with the Goo Gone and wiping it down, which that works wonderful, but it tends to work really good. Not as good on my desk as it does. I mean, it still does, but I prefer the Goo Gone. So, anyways, welcome. I have a light sweater for a party. Oh, is it Christmassy? We are staying home tonight. Last night, oh my goodness, we went to what was the actual name? It was the Trivy Art Center, which is a really nice art center that we have here. And I think you've heard me mention it before, that all these people that come into town say this is probably one of the nicest venues that they've been to. It only holds, I think there's 400 seats, so it's a small venue, but it's got a sound system that's unbelievable. Well, we went last night as part of our series that we pay to belong to. Songs, Kilnar, oh Lord, it's the Irish Kilnari. How do you say it? No, I can't say it. Kilnarney, Kilnar. Anyways, it's in, oh my God, it's in Ireland. And we walked because the Trivia Art Center is not too far from the house. Oh, it has snowflake. Ooh, how nice is that? It's not too far from the house, but they had two big old Prevost motor coaches there, and each one had a big old truck that they were towing, a big thing of towing all their equipment and stuff. And normally when we go in, we listen to bands and all of that. This is like a production. They had set up a background scene of like a little town and bar, a pub. And of course, here at Shell Point being a Christian, run by a Christian organization, how it was developed, they don't serve alcohol. Not to say that you can't drink in your house, but they just don't serve alcohol at our restaurant. And so here they've got this whole thing of pub, and they're singing, they're doing all these Christmas, and they're doing the dance, the Irish dance, and kicking their legs and all that stuff. Oh my God, it was unbelievable. My husband and I were like, holy moly. We had not seen a performance. I mean, we have seen some great performances there, but this was like top of the line. I mean, it was so good, and the singing was unbelievable. But it was songs of Christmas, so they did a lot of all Christmas songs. So, hey, Patty, but it was so nice to go to, because I was like tired, and I felt like I said, "What is it?" And he goes, "It's holiday songs." I'm like, "Do we really need to go?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I told him, I said, "I'm so glad that we went because I would have been so disappointed if I heard about it afterwards and we didn't go." So I'm glad we did. But it was fun. They just came, Patty, you'll love this one. They just came from the villages. They're here 2 nights. They were here last night, sold out. So they sold out last night and sold out for tonight. And then they're working their way around Florida. And I think Chuck was looking at their schedule, working their way around Florida, and then they're heading up north, and then going from somewhere up there. I don't know. But anyway, it was really good. I was so impressed with them. Just the dancing alone, you know how they kick their legs. And the funny thing is they're dancing and singing, and when they stop, one of the, two or three of the people would stop. You think you'd be seeing them breathing heavy, right? Yeah, they were just like the rest of us, just sitting there breathing. I would be going, oh, but anyway, it was really, really good. So we enjoyed that. So anyways, we'll have fun at your party tonight. All right, let's see. We've got several people on board. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and we'll get started. I do want to show a couple of things. For those that don't know me, I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and as of February of 26, I'll be doing this 15 years. Can't believe it. Anyways, and I live in Fort Myers, Florida, which today, and I know most of y'all up north are having some cold weather, but just to let you think about what we've got down here, our high today is only going to be 79, and the sun is out, and it feels a little bit warmer than that. So I just thought I would share that with you all. I know that's not nice, is it? Oh, all right. What I do, I was trying to think of something. I don't work well doing things at the last minute. And I was trying to figure out, I've been working on AI. And just to let y'all know, I'm creating a bot that's going to help you guys if you have questions about, or anybody that has questions about stamping or things that, and how I'm training it. So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 days. I'm still working on her. I came up with a name, and then my husband, I got a couple of names, and I'll share with this, and then we'll get started. I asked Google to give me some female AI names for whatever, and one of them was Craftzilla, and I thought, like, that's ugly, that's mean, so I didn't do that one. But there came up a couple, and so I thought, well, I looked at the definition. One was Friendly Frida, and I kind of liked that one. And then my husband goes, "Where did you get that from?" I thought, "Oh, it told me that." He gave me some names, but one of the other names was Crafty Katie. So I think we're going to go with Crafty Katie. So if you all come up with a name for my bot, she's a female, give me some ideas that is around paper crafting, and if yours gets chosen, I might just send you something in the mail as a little thank you gift. So I'm putting that out there for y'all. I'm going to give y'all a challenge. Come up with a name for my bot. Okay, so what we're going to do today, anyway, so as I started to say, I don't do well doing things at the last minute. I try to be prepared at least a day in advance. Well, I wasn't, because I was busy doing that yesterday, and I really was trying to come up with something. And so I had to go into Pinterest and some of my pages that I saved to look at ideas, and I came up with one that I think you guys are going to like. And I know y'all have seen it before, but it's one that I haven't done in a long time. So that's what we're going to do. But first thing, before I do anything else, I'm going to flip the camera down, and I'm going to show you 2 cards. One is from Karen that she sent me for Christmas, and one is from Linda Carver, who did our last Saturday, the inch by inch square card, and it's really beautiful. I'm not sure where. Oh, well, Dawn. I don't know. Do I want to name it after myself, though? I don't know about that. But I do like that. I never even thought about that. So anyway, and then the other one is Linda sent me an email with a picture of the card that she did from our creative anticipation last week using the inch by inch or inch and a quarter or whatever. So give me a second. I'm going to turn the camera down, and then we're going to get this party started. I got to flip this thing over. Okay. And Karen, I hope you don't mind sharing your card. You see my shadow in there. All right. Linda sent. That's gorgeous. I love this paper. This is Stampin' Up paper. Linda, if you're on here, I need to know if this is Stampin' Up paper because I really, it's nice. She did a really good job. And you can see she's got the border all the way around. And it looks like she's embossed the pattern paper. And I've seen that embossing folder, and I don't know the name of it. So I'm assuming this is probably a Stampin' Up paper, but I don't recall. But isn't that beautiful? I think she did a really nice job. And then, so if you have any cards, you're going to get showcased because I just think this is awesome. Now, Miss Karen here, she's like my friend Patty. She really makes some really cool stuff. So this is what Karen sent me. Look at the sticker cards. Isn't that gorgeous? And she embossed the piece inside. Now, Karen, I'm going to ask, I'm assuming that this is this a bag that you put it in and then you folded it up and taped it to the top of the card? I'm assuming that you did. But and look how she did the inside. It's gorgeous. I've never think to carry the paper forward and with a design. But isn't that nice? I hope you don't mind me, Karen. But I've been from this thing since we got it. I've left it up on the counter. And every time I go by it, I look at my husband and go, isn't that cute? Look, it's safe. Isn't that beautiful? So thank you so much, Karen. And thank you, Linda, for sharing. So now this is going to give me ideas. Now we're going to have to start making some sticker cards because I haven't done a sticker card and I can't tell you when. So who knows? We may do that. We may do that sometime soon. Okay, so let's get started on what we're going to do today. I did take off for next Tuesday. We're not going to have a Facebook Live, just to let you all know. I decided since it's right before the holidays through Christmas, I just thought I'd take that day off. And then I will do it on the 30th, since that's not really New Year's Eve. So I will do the 30th, but I'm not going to do this week coming up, okay? All right, so now y'all know, y'all have seen this design before, but you know, sometimes, we got to bring them back. But isn't it cute? It's the circles. So we're going to do the circle card. I don't know what else to call this thing but the circle card. So I'm going to walk you through. We're going to do 2 different cards, and I'm going to use some new paper that will be coming out of the catalog on January 5th. And as a demonstrator, we get to order that pre-order. And then I just carried, the first paper over that the main circle was made out of. And then I embossed it with the, oh my gosh, hold on a second. I got to start learning to remember the names of these things. Give me a second. Softly sophisticated 3D embossing folder. Bad about that. Do better. Okay, so this is the embossing folder that I use. But isn't that cute? I just thought this is really gorgeous. So, all right. So now we're going to make 2 cards, and we're going to start with this one. Now the paper here, and I'll show you just a second. This paper is the Pleasant Pattern, and it's a specialty paper. So let me set this off to the side. Y'all may do circles before, have you not? But we're going to go through and I'll show you how we do it. All right. So this is what this paper looks like. This is one of the pieces, and there's nothing on the back of it. So I embossed that with that. This one I embossed with the wave embossing folder. And I also embossed one of the smaller pieces of the circles, and I'm going to tell you which circles we used. But this paper, it's a little heavier, and there's 12 feet. Is that right? Hang on. Except the thing is upside down from how you open it. Yeah, 12. How many sheets are in here? Oh, I'm sorry. There's 6 sheets, 2 of each. So, and they're patterns. Let me just show you the patterns real quick. So this is something that y'all get a sneak peek of. Here's like a copper sort of color, which is kind of pretty. And I love it because it's not any design, so that would make a good background. And then this is the one that we're going to use. And then the other one is Sky Shamrock, and that's just got the and it's kind of like the shiny paper look. Okay, so I guess that's why they call it the specialty paper. So that's the one that we're going to work on with this one. And then we have another new paper we're going to use on the next card. Okay, so we're going to start with, now let me, now if you have circle framelits, the circle dies, then you can use those, but I'm going to tell you what they are as far as what size, and then you can also use your punches. But I use the layering circles, which these have been retired, and I keep most of the dies like this because you always need circles, right? So that's what I've used, but we are using, it's going to be equal to a 3-inch circle, and then we'll have a 2.5-inch circle, and then 1 3/4 circle, and then 1 1/4 circle. Okay. So those are the size circles if you have punches. If not, you can do whatever sizes you want, but you want them to kind of decrease in size, and you'll see why. Okay. All right. And then you're going to take a piece of white 4 by 5 1/4, and you want to emboss that through the same folder. Okay. So that's what we're going to place everything on top of. And then we've got our inside piece, a piece for our sentiment, and then this will go on the inside. And since that paper is running this way, I've cut it down, so we're going to put it on the inside right, or we could do left, but I'm going to put it on the right side of the inside of the card, okay? And we're using petal pink, because that's the color of this paper. Not petal pink, I'm sorry, pretty in pink, pardon me. So this is pretty in pink, 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do, and I will do this, it doesn't matter. We can cut these. You can use your paper trimmer if you want to cut your circles. We're going to cut them in half. I'm just going to cut them. It doesn't matter if they're not exactly perfect because we're going to put the sentiment across the top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to eyeball this, and I'm going to cut this in half. All right, and we can use the paper trimmer, but we're going to live on the edge. So we're going to cut them all in half, all right? So we're going to do, this is Coastal Cabana, just letting you know my colors. All right, and then we've got Berry Burst. So we're going to cut this one in half. And then we have our Pretty in Pink. I've got fuzz on my fingernails. And we're going to cut this one. Oh, which way do we want to cut it? Let's cut it. Yeah, let's cut it this way. And this is the 1 1/4 inch, okay? So we have a 3-inch circle that you can use, 2.5, 1 3/4, and 1 1/4. All right, so the whole idea is we're just going to mirror these pieces. So we're going to line them up next to each other, and we're going to lay them down based on their size, and we're going to glue them down, and we're going to line them up towards the left. Now I'm going to put seal on this one because this paper is like, it's not cardstock, but it's got that shiny feel to it. So I'm going to do some seal just to make sure, and plus it's been embossed, so I'm going to make sure that it's going to adhere to it. Okay. So you want to line this up right exactly on the edge going up to the top and the edge of the side. Okay. And I want to make sure, I'm going to pull this up for just a second so I can make sure I got it even. Because with the seal, once you stick it down, you're not going to be able to move it. All right, so that's how we're going to do. We're going to build our circles, okay? And then we're going to take the next one, and I might as well just use the seal on this one too. Why not? All right, so then this one, the same thing. We're going to butt them all up next to each other, right? And up to the top. So you see what we're starting to form? And then the same thing with this one. I think I want the raised edge, so I'm going to put this down and put some adhesive on that. And we're going to do the same thing. This one's going to get lined up right there. And then I'm going to push it up, make sure it's even, because again, using the seal, we want to make sure we've got them all lined up nice and pretty. Have y'all done this, used this technique before? It's a fun one because it really makes people think when they see the card, right? Because you wonder, how did you get it to do that swirl? Well, that's what we're going to study. All right, so then we're going to do the same thing on the other ones as well. Okay, so we're going to just put some adhesive. We're going to do our seal. We want to make sure that this guy gets adhered on here and doesn't come off. And I'm going to push him all the way up. We got that there. That's why I was saying when you cut them, you can cut them in half and do the best you can. But don't freak out if not, because by the time we cover it up with our sentiment, you're not gonna see the middle part anyway, okay? So we're gonna line that one right up right there. And you can choose paper, and then you get to choose whatever colors you want, right? That's the fun part. All right, so we're gonna put that right there, the same thing. These are easy cards, so again, and especially if you have punches, so you don't have to get up and go to the die cutting machine outside of doing your embossing. All right, so now we have our piece here. So what we're going to do, oh, my nose is itching all of a sudden. We're going to lay this on here and you can place it wherever you want. Now, depending on what you're going to add as far as embellishments, like here, I put a bow and then I added some pretty little embellishments. Then I'm trying to find, I forgot to bring some embellishments out. Woo! We're going to find some to use. I might have to go digging in here in a second, guys. Anyway, let's see. I think we might use some out of here. Okay. So we're going to glue this down, and then we're going to glue this one on top, and that gives you that effect. Now look at that. Isn't that something? Woohoo! And this is going to be covered up because that's where we're going to put our sentiment. So if there's a little gap there, it's okay because we're not going to see it. But isn't that cool? So that's what we're doing. Now, again, because this is embossed, I'm going to put, and this is embossed, I'm going to put my seal over the back to get it to lay down, okay? So I'm going to lay this, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to lay it anywhere, and then we'll go from there, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Now, this one we're going to make, I think I'm going to make this one a birthday card, all right? And then we're going to put, I'm going to turn this sideways so I can see it, just to make sure I get it lined up. Now you can see I've got some gaps there, but that's okay because you're not going to see it. All right, so we're going to put that down. All right, now look at that. Okay. Then the next thing, we're going to add this to the front of our card. So let's get our adhesive. Look how easy this is, and it's just a fun way, and it's something I remember when it came out a couple years ago, we were all making this card. And then, somebody came out with another card. Now I'm going to turn it because my flowers are going this direction. So that's why I turned my card base around, the base of the white. So I'm going to put that there, as I do want my flowers at least look like they're going in the right direction. All right, so that's glued down. All right, now we've got to do our sentiment. And I am going to stamp, let's see, I think I'm going to do, not that one. We're going to do happy birthday, and this is a little bit large. I will be cutting this down using the paper trimmer, and I'm using the Simply Said. I looked at the new banner. Now we have a new banner, banner things, but these are really small, so these aren't really going to work for what I want to do on this card. These are much bigger, so we're going to work with that. All right, so we're going to do the Let's Celebrate. So it's not really a birthday. You can make it celebrate to be anything, right? So, and I'm going to stamp this in. So I'm going to do the pretty. I'm going to do pretty in pink, but I think I might change it to Calypso Coral because I think that might be too much pink. So I'm going to stamp one side first, and then we'll decide what we want to do. Okay. So let me get this here inked up, and I'm going to stamp that right about here because I got to make sure I get enough to, I'll stamp it right about here. I think I'm going to go with Coastal Cabana because I think that, I think Coastal Cabana is going to look better. So I'm going to do that. So hold on, let me move him out of the way. Let's come in with Coastal Cabana, and let me clean it off my ink real quick. Hang on a minute. I organized my drawers. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. They're all organized. We'll see how long that lasts. Okay, so let's see what we look like with, I think this is going to look better. Let's Celebrate. And then I'm going to come back and trim this. I think that's going to look better. What do y'all think? We can do the pink. I think that color is going to work better. Coastal Cabana. I think that looks better. Okay. Don't you look it's something neat? It's such a neat way to do something, and it's so simple. Okay, I'm gonna make the vote that we go with the Coastal Cabana. So I'm just gonna send this down because I don't want my sentiment to be that big. So I'm gonna just I'm eyeballing it and gonna cut it, but I do want it long enough to go from edge to edge of the white. Uh-oh, I didn't cut that very straight, did I? All right, so we're gonna come back and make sure. I think my paper is not straight, so I'm gonna have to try to really do good. All right, okay, so we'll get those out of the way. Now let's see. Oh, that's not too bad. By the time I cut those things off, we'll be good. All right, so we're gonna put that. See, that's gonna go right there. So I'm going to eyeball, and if it doesn't go exactly to the edge, I'm okay with that. So I'm just gonna cut, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to go. Actually, we can even make this, cut it into a tail. Why don't we do that? Let's cut a little tail. All right, so I'm just going to cut up in the center and cut this. Just make a little tail out of it. All right, and then let's do this one. Now my nose has started itching. What is up there? Okay. All right. Yeah, that'll look pretty. Now we just got to come up with some nice embellishments. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, the sentiment itself. So let me pull in my white mini dimensionals. The big ones might fit, but I'd rather take be on the safe side, and we'll go with the little mini ones. I'm going to probably put 4 on here, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so don't forget, y'all. Think of some names for my bot. Now, it doesn't have to be named after me. I think it should have somebody else's name because she's going to be my assistant. She's going to be helping me with all sorts of stuff. So, okay. All right, so we're going to peel these little things. You know, I love these little dimensionals, but oh my gosh, you know, if you don't push them down, and if you don't have fingernails, which I usually have the ladies cut my nails down really short because I don't like them long, and they always look at me like I'm crazy. All right, so we're going to put that right there. Ooh, that really makes that pop, doesn't it? All right, we need something around here. I guess I should have looked for this beforehand. I didn't order any of the embellishments from the catalog yet. That's probably what, oh, so this is going to fit. These will work. What color are these? Oh, we can tell us. Anyways, I think these are older ones, but we're going to use not the pink, but we will use the looks like Coastal Cabana. They're close enough. I think it's probably baby blue actually, but that's all right. So let's go with a couple of these. Close enough, don't you think? All right, we'll put that there. We'll put one up here, and let's see if I can find something else that might be a little bit prettier. I've got some. Let's see, we don't have gold, we got silver in there. Let me see if I have something with some silver. That might, ooh, that's pretty too, isn't it? Ooh. Well, we don't want to do that one since I already have that other color. Give me a second. I'm just digging through my little stash of stuff that I have sitting out that's easy for me to get to. What about, now this one's going to be, opal round. These are opal. This is going to be white. I don't think I want that. I don't have anything. Oh, yeah, I do. Hold on, but it's going to be too small. Oh, here we go. Let's do a little. I don't know if I want to do this. Since those are plain, I don't think I here. Why don't we do this? I know, you guys. I'm sorry. I should do better. I have these little tiny silver things, but I don't. That's kind of small. Or I have. This right here might look pretty. Let's put these. I'm thinking that it sparkles there, but okay. Let's try. Well, this is sparkly too. Let's try. This is Fauceted Gems Trio. This is old. I'm pretty sure this is. Yeah, this is retired. So it's in my retired box. But I think we're gonna use it. I think I'm gonna go with the one right here. I think I'm gonna do this one. It's kind of clear. That'd give it a little pizzazz to it. And then, you can add a piece of a bow underneath if you want. We could do that. All right, so there's that part of the card. And then we're going to come in with our inside of the card. And I'm not going to put a sentiment. I'm going to wait until obviously we know it's celebrate, but it could be a birthday, it could be an anniversary. We don't know, right? I'm going to glue this down and then I'm going to trim this off. So I'm going to put glue right on the long side of this. Well, hopefully not too much. I don't want it to ooze out, which it probably will now. And we're going to lay this down. Yeah, it's going to ooze. It's going to do. All right, we're going to put this right on the side. All right. And then give it a minute so it can somewhat dry. And then I'm just going to come down here and trim this little guy off. And we're going to save him because we can use him again for something else. Who knows? You never know. Don't throw away any of your little scraps stuff. All right, so then now we're going to put this on the inside. My nose is itching. All right, so we're going to just add our liquid glue to that. Okay. All right, and then this is going to go on the inside of our card. And then once we decide what we're celebrating, then we can write our message. So there we go. Pull that down to the pad. All right, so there you go. What do you think about that? Cute. I just love that. I could have just put the 3 of those little colors, but that's okay. That's all right. But isn't that cute? Love this. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next card. Now, the next one, and I'm going to lay this right here so that y'all can see. I'll put it at an angle. The next one is an Easter card. So I did order the Easter Easter stamp and die, and I'm going to show you some other stuff, and that's what we're going to do on this one. Now this one, and I know it's not Easter yet, but I had this, I thought, why not? And it's got some cute paper. Okay, so this is the Easter basket. These are the designs for the photopolymer stamp. There's 12 images. You got 3 bunny rabbits and a little chick, the carrot, an egg, and then flowers, and then you've got some nice sentiments at the top. And then look at all of these dies. You get 16 dies because we can make an Easter basket, and we have grass. I'm not sure what this thing is for yet. I haven't figured that one out. I assume this is probably you can put on the basket here. And then we've got a rabbit, the carrot, we got some flowers, a bow. That's the bow that I put on my card right here. So that's the bow from this. The Easter eggs can be cut out. The 3 bunnies. This is another flower. I'm not sure what that's for. Oh, that's probably the other flowers. But anyway, so there's 16 dies and 12 stamps. Okay. And then this one, the paper, and you can tell this is Easter paper because look at these colors. Hang on one second. It's got all spring, and this is obviously called Easter Joy. So let me pull out the paper real quick and show you. Now, don't forget, I am offering paper spares. So if you haven't seen the link, I think it's in my email. If you're not on my email list, let me know. If you're interested, message me and I'll send you a link to the Google form that you can complete. The spares, the paper spares are $50. I am doing ribbon. There's only 5 new ribbons, and the ribbon I don't think it's like 20 or 25 maybe. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, okay. So here's the paper. It's cute. All right, so we have this. Okay, the paper. Hang on, this little. I know they put the glue on here for a reason, but it drives me crazy. Okay. This is the one that we're going to use, and then that's the back side. All right, and then here we've got, let me pull it up this way. Then we have this paper here. Let me turn it sideways. And this is a specialty paper, so it's got a different feel on the front. And then that's the back side of that one. And then we have all the pretty stripes. And the back side of that one is a beige. You see that? And then this is the one that we're using now. And then we've got this. This is a sticker page, not a sticker page, but this is the page that is you can cut it in bigger pieces. So they've got it already pretty much where you can just cut all these out. Okay, so there's 2 pages of those. And then one with the little lilies or whatever, not lilies, tulips and the flowers. And then here's our Easter eggs. That's the back side of that one. And that's like a pale blue. And then here's our Easter egg paper. And then the back side of that one is some neutral colors, if you can see that big. So that's the Easter joy paper. All right, so now we can move on to making our card. So we probably should have done Valentine's Day first before we did Easter, but I didn't order any Valentine stuff, so I probably should do that, huh? All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to do this one again. So we're going to use a size Samrock on this one for the base. And then I've got my piece of paper that I used to cut out my piece for the, oh, and let me say one other thing I forgot. They have this ephemera, Easter time mix and match ephemera pack. So I haven't opened this one yet, but look at all of the different things. I thought about maybe using some of this on here, and then I changed my mind. But I don't, let me see, well, how many do we get? Let me see. But this has got some nice little items on here that you can just make your card making a lot easier. So keep that in mind, because you can always purchase these little things, and this gives you a lot of opportunities if you don't have certain stamp sets to do whatever it is you want to do. And these, you just pop them out, right? So let's see what we got. We have 2 of these. How many do we have? Then we've got leaves and some purple spring. So some of this could be for spring too, right? Not necessarily. Some of it's Easter, but some of these could be used. And then here's another one with the rabbit and lilies and all of that. So just keep that in mind too. So you've got this ephemera pack too. All right. So just thought I'd share that with you if you're into the Easter theme. All right. So we're going to create this next card. You make sure my envelope, I've got all my tools out of it. Okay, so these are, we're going to do the paper, Pretty in Pink, Balmy Blue, and Sky Samrock. And then I did the same thing. I embossed this one on the Softly Sophisticated 3D embossing folder. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. And then my sentiment stamp, my inside, and then our card is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. So we'll go ahead and get that done, and we'll put this off to the side because we don't need them right this moment. All right, so again, we're going to start building our, let me see, this can go with this. We'll put that over there. All right, so we're going to start building our card again. So I did emboss this piece, and then I embossed the baby blue, okay? So this one, we're going to start, and then you can decide if you want this color. This back side's pretty because it's got flowers, the Easter eggs. I guess, I'm not sure, tulips, and then these little guys there. All right, so again, I'm eyeballing it, and I'm just going to cut up the center. At least I hope it's the center. Close enough, right? And then we've got our Sky Samrock circle. This is the 1 3/4. The first one was 3 inches. This one is, what did I say, 2.5? Yeah, this is 2.5, 1 3/4, and then this is 1 1/4. All right, so we're going to cut this one in half, and then we'll cut the blue one. This is balmy blue, and we'll cut that one right up in the center. Okay, so we'll take these, and we're going to glue these down, and then we're going to start creating our card again. So let's start with, and again, I'm going to put the seal on this one only because, again, the other one's embossed. So I want to make sure it sticks. This is going to be pretty. But isn't it cute? This would be cute for a baby, too, if you got either a girl or a boy, right? A newborn, you could use these colors. Perfect. And then we're going to put the Sky Samrock on here. Whoops. Might as well just go ahead and use the seal again. We'll do that. Oh, how if I keep myself in the camera, huh? All right, so we're going to put that one up there. Let me pull it up so I can make sure I get them lined lined up correctly. You got just enough wiggle room with using that seal. Not much, but you get a little bit. All right, and then we have our blue. And this one, I'm going to do that. And then I've got the embossed part that's up higher, so we can feel the embossing on this one. All right, we got that one lined up. There we go. And now we'll do the same thing on this one. We'll come over here and build our little half circles. All of a sudden, my nose has started itching, you guys. Not sure why. All right, so this one is going to go here. Put that down. Ephemera. Oh, is that how it's pronounced? Ephemera. Well, thank you for sharing, because I never knew how to say that. I only do Valentine's for my daughter or my dad. Well, that's good. I don't really make a lot of Valentine's Day. Patty paper. Oh, that's a good one. Patty. Oh, that was from Pamela. I was Patty came up with that one. So your bot is your assistant. Makes sense now. Yes, she's going to be my assistant. And it's amazing when you train these things, what you can get them to do. And mine's going to be more of, initially, is going to be more for lead collection, to get email address for my newsletter, so that I can start reaching out and, finding new clients, new customers. And then I can, then I can work on whatever else I want one to do. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm working on this one. I'm hoping to have it finished today. I did a lot yesterday. And so anyways, it'll be fun. All right. So we're going to line that one up right there. Patty paper sounds good too. Patty paper. She's supposed to be friendly. I'm trying to make her so she's friendly and fun and all that, so she's not going to get, hung up on all the, not into the nasty stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this again. We've already cut our circles in half. Now we're going to lay them on here, wherever we want to lay them. Now I did cut, since we're going to make this an Easter card, I did cut a little rabbit and a carrot. So I want to make sure I leave enough room to put these on here. So I'm thinking what I might do is put the little bunny up here. So I might want to move this down just a tad. And I'll pop him up right here. I'll put him right there. And I don't know, should I have the carrot right next to the carrot? Kind of big. Or I can put the carrot down here. What do y'all think? Let me know. We've got time. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing this down. So let me know where you think I think the bunny looks cute though. I don't know if I should put the carrot next to him or put it down here. So let me know what you think. All right, so let's go ahead and start gluing these pieces down. And again, since this is embossed, I am going to use the seal just to make sure it doesn't come off. I want to make sure both sides have got adhesive on it, because I don't want them to fall off, right? And so I'm going to put this down a little bit lower, since I'm going to put the bunny up there. So I think I'll put it right about here. All right, and then we'll do this one. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to put some seal on this. And you can do tear and tape. You can do your liquid glue. I just think with the bulkiness and this right here, we want to make sure that we've got it where it's not going to come off. Okay. All right. So there's our circles on there. All right. And now we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to do that in Shy Rock. So it's going to, and I'm going to leave this right here for a minute. Y'all spread them out, bunny top, carrot at the bottom. That's what I was thinking. All right, so we're going to stamp Happy Easter, and this is a nice size Easter sentiment too. So let's do that. We're going to ink that up on, let's see, I'm going to do this in the center. And then I may have to trim it down, obviously. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty. Yeah, I like that. That's a big sentiment, isn't it? All right, let me wipe this thing off real quick. I didn't, normally before I use the photopolymer, I usually ink them up with Versamark, just to kind of get them to where they don't change the color, where they don't You know how sometimes you use the clear and it takes on the color of one of the stamps? So if you stamp it in birthmark and then just kind of stamp that off once on a piece of paper, then I have found that it doesn't stain. And I forgot to do that on these, but that's okay. All right, so there's our sentiment. So now we've got to cut this guy down. So let me move my stuff out of the way and bring the paper trimmer in. And again, I want to keep this. We'll put the bunny on there in just a second. Whoops, camera's going a little wacko. So, oh, that's perfect, right? So, but he's too big. Let me make a mark where I think this needs to be cut. Okay. So I'm going to let me cut that off first. And then I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And let's see. So we're going to might have to trim that up in just a second. And this one, we're going to cut him right about there. And if it doesn't go all the way, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. And this one, I'm just going to do a little smidge because I left a little crumb piece on there. And I think I'm going to trim this down just a little bit as well. I think it's too much white. So let's try that. And get that out of the way. I didn't cut much off of that, did I? Try that again. There we go. Get him so he's straight. That one looks a little crooked, doesn't it? All right, there we go. Woo! There we go. That's better. I'm going to turn it and do it this way. I don't like a lot of the white showing. I don't know about you guys, but and sometimes it's fine. I just like to keep the sentiment where it's not quite as white, and it kind of, because I think it takes away from the focal point. Okay. All right, so we have our Easter sentiment. Now, this one, all right, we'll trim him up. Should we cut at an angle, or we can make them, what do you think? Or just leave them, I'm going to trim them down, but leave them more normal, if you will. Just eat. That looks a little crooked, doesn't it? This piece right here. This one looks like it's off just a little bit. Hang on a minute. I got to trim up this little piece right here. He's looking, this side right here looks like it's a little bit higher. So I think I've got it. Hopefully I don't mess this up. We'll find out. Oh, I think that's better. Much better. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue the white onto our card base. Now, if you have a design, you know, you could always do it I could turn this around and have the circles going this way, so you could put it in a landscape mode. I didn't think about that. We could have done that, so we wouldn't have all three in the same direction, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add this now to the card base, and you all let me know if I should cut the banner and either at a diagonal or just leave it the way it is. I know, this really could be for any occasion. Exactly. Just depends on what colors you want to put in your paper, right? All right, so we're going to lay that down right there. Lovely. And it really does to me, because of the pink, I think it really does remind me of a baby card. All right, so I'm going to put the rabbit here. I think I'm going to glue these down. I'm trying to pop them up because the sentiment's going to be popped up. Why don't we pop them up too? Why not? All right, and this is going to go here. So do we want to leave it like that? Or do we want to cut it at an angle on the sides? What do y'all think? Leave it the way it is? All right, so I'm going to trim. I think that's fine. Let me get it over. And if I have to trim it some, I will. Actually, I'm going to trim just a little bit. I want it to go to the edge of the white. So I know this is being a little picky, isn't it? I'm going to trim that. Hopefully that works. That's close enough. All right, that'll work. Okay, so we're going to do dimensionals on this. And then we will be done. So don't go anywhere. I know some of you all are working and some aren't. All right, we're going to use our scraps over here. So since we have this long piece, we'll just put our white, look at that. Oh, these are the little baby ones. So we need that one for the bunny. We'll put the bunny on here. put one on his ear, and I've got, let's see, we'll put this one here, and then I'm going to cut that piece off. So never throw away your side pieces or scraps, because this is like you're throwing money away, right? And we'll just put that right on there, and on the bunny rabbit, and I'm going to cut this piece off. Hang on. Hold up. Let's get that cut off. All right, so do y'all have any plans for the holidays? Anybody going anywhere? Going out of town? All right, and then we need one more little baby one to put on the carrot. Get that out of the way. And we'll put two. I'll put one up on the green, and then we'll put one right kind of where the fat part of the carrot is. We'll do that. All right, so there, we got all our pieces ready to go. My nose has started to itch, and then it won't stop. Somebody's talking about me. Okay, here we go. We're going to put our sentiment on. And we have to decorate our inside as well. So I'm going to put that there. All right, and then we got to come up with some embellishments too, don't we? Oh my goodness gracious. What are we going to do about that? Oh, I think we got some there. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's put our rabbit. Speaking of rabbits, we were just talking about Bugs Bunny the other day. I don't know what brought that up, but I told my husband, do you remember Bugs Bunny? Oh, because I think, I don't know, something with the dog. All right, so I'm going to put this little guy right here. He's like, hippity hoppy, hop, 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 hop. And we'll put his carrot down below, so that kind of offsets the corners. And then we'll put him a little bit at an angle so it doesn't all look so dark and straight. Let's see what we've got here. So I got some little pastels here. I don't know, that might work, huh? And then this could be working. That could work. The pink could actually work. Let's see if I have anything else in here, and then we'll be done. Now these are all my red things. These are green. That's not gonna work. Let's see, we have anything else in here? We have, those are gonna be too bulky, I think. I'm gonna go with these little pastel things. What do y'all think? I think that green might be able, what do you think? Do you think that would look fine, don't you? Do y'all think that would be fine? I'm alone, so it's not me. I'm going to put that one there. I think it's close enough in the green family. And then this one, I think will be fine because, again, it's kind of pink. But I don't want it to look like it's supposed to be like a baby card. And we've got this. I think I'm going to just put, and I'm going to put that right there. No. I got to put another one, even though we have three things. I guess I could put it right here. Let me just put it over here. Why not? Whoever gets this, they're not going to care. We spend more time worrying about stuff, right? Okay, so now we just have to add our inside piece. So let me get that pulled in here. We're going to put this on. We're going to put this on the bottom. And we're going to glue that on there. We're going to trim it down. And then we'll be ready to finish up the card. Actually, I'm going to leave that one off a little bit because he's kind of crooked. Let's put that one down there. I always cut them a little bit longer so that way I know they're covering the card. And if something's not cut straight, I can trim it a little bit. Like I'm going to do right now. So we're going to trim this piece right here, trim that piece right there. And again, I'm not going to put anything on the inside yet. We're going to leave that blank. So when the time comes and we want to send this to someone for an Easter card, it could be to my husband. You never know. All righty. Okay. All right, ladies and gents, there you go. There are our circle cards. I'm going to pull them all back in. Aren't these gorgeous? I'm going to put these colors. I didn't realize I was using pink on both of them, but that's okay. Aren't these here don't you just love that? And it's so easy to do. So if you have punches, that's the easiest way. But if you have the circle dies, just use your ruler and just kind of gauge what size circles. This is like 3 inch, 2.5, 1 3/4, and 1 1/4. So they're going down 1/2 inch. So you can decide how big or small you want them. But look at how how it changes up the whole look of the card based on the color. Isn't that great? Okay, everybody. Again, if you don't have a demonstrator and you need a catalog, let me know. Just message me and I'll send one to you. And the paper shares are out and available. I will probably post that again today on Facebook and through my blog. And with that being said, if I can help you with anything, please let me know. Thank you guys for taking time out of your Friday mid-morning, or early afternoon. I greatly appreciate it. And again, if you make cards with this design, please send me copies. Email them to me. I would love, or a picture, whatever. I'd love to see what they look like. Okay. See you all 12. Oh, yeah, that would be fun for 12 years old. You could easily do that. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Tuesday evening without me. Enjoy your holidays, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And hopefully those of you that are working are off those days. And I will see you all, I guess, when? Let me see. I don't think I have any. Let me check my schedule. I don't think I have anything. Nope. So I will see you all on the 30th of February, or before then on, I'll be looking at my Facebook pages and all that stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed these cards, and share if you like these. I greatly appreciate it. All right. Have a great weekend. Talk to y'all soon. Bye now. Merry Christmas to y'all.